Happy Friday, happy Friday. And today we're talking about how we could be sabotaging our manifestations. This is Maria Henderson, your spiritual business coach. We are discussing spiritual manifestations and how this affects our money, our relationships, the people around us, and the business that we are running and operating. And how are we stopping our manifestations from coming to us, right? So, number one, I'm going to speak to those who have goals. Now, if you don't have goals, this is probably not for you. And if you do have goals, you guys, this is who I'm talking to. If you guys have business goals, financial goals, relationship goals, health goals, fitness goals, any kind of goals, you might be sabotaging its easiness to come to you. And how could you be doing that? And why would anyone on earth do this to themselves? Well, it's because we have brains and minds. And the brains and minds, if it becomes managed and it just kind of runs its own show, your brain will actually cause havoc in your life. And for a lot of us, we kind of know that. If you guys are like spiritual people or if you guys are in personal development, you know that the brain, if it's untamed and you are not causing it to happen and work for you, your brain will do this thing called automatization. Okay, I had to say it the right way. Automatization. And what that is it's its way of conserving energy, because in any given day our brains use 30% of energy to operate our organs, to eat, to digest food, to drive a car, to parent, to be in relationship with people, to walk our bodies up and down stairs. It takes 30% of energy, the brain does, of the day for you. So what the brain likes to do is it tries to automatize everything we do so it doesn't use more than the 30% that we are supposed to use. Otherwise, you're going to be more fatigued than normal because everything else requires for your energy to be used. For example, your heart pumping in your body, that requires energy. So what the brain does is it's trying to only minimize its energy capacity so it can give more energy to other functions in the body. Why am I sharing this with you guys? It's really important for those who want to change their lives. And I love spirituality, you guys, but to be completely honest, there's a lot more science involved in spirituality. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how the brain does this thing where it conserves energy. And how did I learn this? You guys, I wrote this book, The Boss Mom Mentality, and I really dived into the science of the brain. And that is when I learned about all of the parts of the brain and why it does the thing it does, and why does it do this thing called it automatizes our actions on a day-to-day basis. And why does it do that? Well, it does that because it wants to conserve energy, and it's pretty much in survival mode most of the time unless you train it not to be in survival mode. So why am I saying this? Well, I'm saying this because if you do not notice that your brain actually causes you havoc without knowing like the actions to take around it, you're going to continue to automatize everything in your life, including relationships. And who here has found themselves in a relationship they have been in years ago, and then they get into a new relationship, and somehow, bam, they're in the same relationship, same energetic pattern, same unhappiness, same unhealed wounds come up, same of the trauma that gets triggered as you are with this person in relationship. Same thing for careers. People who go into different careers, they quit one job because they don't like it and it's toxic, but then they find themselves into a new job and it's the same environment, same toxicity, different faces. Because the brain does this thing where it automatizes everything, including how you find jobs, including how you find people, including how you find clients. So let's say you're now going into business and you're like, Maria, I want to have 10K consistent months, but you're not doing the work required to do it, right? You're not doing like the inner healing. You're not going into the process of honesty and accountability, and you're not going into changing your energetic vibration and even healing that part of yourself. You're going to find yourself back into the same kind of vibrational energetic patterns with the clients that you sign on in your coaching business. It's all connected. That's why I say you have to work on your inner healing in order for you to have a successful coaching business, because you're going to attract the same bullshit. You're going to attract the same stuff from your past, and your brain wants to heal itself, but then it's weird because the brain knows what it needs to heal itself from. However, it does this thing where it automatizes your thoughts, your actions, your behaviors to things, to people, so that it can conserve energy. See, and if it becomes untamed and you let the brain go wild and does everything on automatic, you're going to continue to have the same results. Okay? So and that's an example of how we sabotage our manifestations. Not being able to cause a change in how we manifest things in our lives. And how do we do that even in our business? So one of the things that I've noticed a lot of people will come to me with is like they'll say something generic like, hey, I want to be this kind of coach. And it's not like a kind of coach that is like, it's not like a coach that's kind of like super unique and different. It's one of those coaches that there's a lot of coaches out there like that, right? So it is your job as going out to be this coach to find the uniqueness in you, right? One of the things that I find unique in my own methods is that I'm very spiritual, and I love working on the inner healing. You know what I mean? And so in order for me to be unique and have that unique position in the marketplace, I dive deep into my spirituality. I dive deep into manifestations. I dive deeper into law of attraction, because law of attraction is surface level. What's the deeper parts of law of attraction? You see, how can you start owning your uniqueness when it comes to who you are and how you show up as? So a lot of the times we'll come into the industry kind of just calling ourselves a generic coach, which means we kind of fall back into the same other people that call themselves generic coaches and have trouble finding clients because there's no uniqueness to what you do. So what it is that you are doing to sabotage yourself is this fear around calling something and claiming something bold. Okay, like for example, one of my clients is a spiritual life coach. And she does fashion on the side, or is actually her main job is like being a stylist. One of the things we're working on together, you guys, is for her to bridge both. Because as a spiritual life coach and as also a fashionista, she can mark herself as a different type of spiritual life coach. That's how she finds the uniqueness. I spoke with another person today out in New York, Buffalo. Thank you so much for your time with me today. I love talking to you. She shared with me that she is 3 months sober off of alcohol, and she's going into business coaching, web design, brand designing. That sobriety, that journey in her being sober for the past 3 months causes her to be unique as a web designer, as a brand developer, right? Because what happens is she's going to attract people who are also in that journey of sobriety, or wants to be sober, or needs support in that sense, who are also going into business. And that uniqueness, you guys, is how we get our ideal aligned clients. Many of us will sabotage this uniqueness for fear of, well, what if I go out there like that and I fail them? What if I go out there like that, and what if I'm not really a spiritual business coach and I can't really show up big enough for them? Or what if I fall off my sober run and I fail these clients who sign up with me? What if I fail? There's this fear around that. And in that fear, we paralyze the manifestations that easily come to us had we just trusted the reason why you have been given this amazing gem that you capitalize on. You know what I mean? So the more you trust, the more these manifestations come to you. The less you trust, that is when it becomes a sabotage tendency. It's your way of automatizing things because it's easier. Where do you automatize your life? Where do you automatize your business? Now, I'm not talking about fucking email marketing and automatizing email marketing. Like, the systems in place to automatize things is good. However, in terms of relationships, in terms of how you brand yourself, how you speak about your services, and the kind of services you render. Are you automatizing? Are you copying people? Or are you out there being bold in your claim? And this is where I want you guys to start talking. And I know I'm talking with a lot of conviction here because I recently just got off the phone with these people, so there's a lot of energy behind this. The more you go into what makes you unique as a coach, as whatever you are, you call yourself a life coach, you're going to fall back into the fucking wallpapers of life coaches. How do you make yourself unique? Start thinking about that. Start accessing your inner parts of you. How do I make myself unique as a life coach? Maybe you're Asian and you could be an Asian life coach for this demographic. Maybe you're Black. Maybe you could be a life coach for the Black women community. Maybe you are a spiritual life coach who is currently, hey Jen, how are you? If you are a spiritual life coach who is currently in, maybe you've been homeless. That's a good one. One of my clients who was homeless 2 years ago now is signing on 20K clients. And she capitalizes on that story because it causes people to relate to her. And now she's working with such high clientele because she decided to share that part of herself and really capitalize on the uniqueness of who she is. Jen, you and I talked about this today. The uniqueness of who you are. So go into that uniqueness of who you are. And as you trust that, you will start manifesting easy clients to come into your sphere of influence. You come into your space and you start commanding people to actually work with you. And that is how we actually allow for the easiness of things versus sabotaging our manifestations. Sabotaging the thing that is already rightfully ours. It's rightfully ours, right? And the thing about that is that if it's rightfully ours, how come it's not here yet? Well, that's because you're not succumbing to the thing that whatever happened in your life, you're supposed to share that. You're supposed to talk about that thing. You're supposed to highlight the journey you've had in that thing. And even if you're in that journey, you're walking the healing. You're walking in the footsteps of healing. Right? Loretta, love you. Thank you so much for our call today. You're walking in that healing. As you walk in that healing, people are behind you walking in that same healing. And they're looking to you for that guidance. And in that, you see your tribe growing. Jen, you and I talked about this tribe, the table that we create, right? And as we create this table, God, miracles happen, healing happens, validation for self happens, spiritual connections happen. People you've known for eons of time happen. Come to you. Right? Loretta, me and you, I feel like we've known each other forever. Right? Me and you. So it's like, the more you succumb to that uniqueness, manifestations just start flowing through. Manifestations start flowing through. Okay, so what is the takeaway from today? Today, I want you guys to really go in, seeing how you are unique in your services, what it is about your story that you want to share, but are kind of like, ooh, I don't want to share that. That is where you go. That ooh, I don't want to share. That is where you go, because that ooh is just a fear of other people and what they think about you. And God knows who gives a fuck. Who gives a fuck about it? As long as you're helping the people that are just like you to get the thing that they want, it's all that matters. Okay, guys? All right, that was a quick live. I just wanted to come on and pour so much energy and love. And I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Loretta, enjoy California. I can't wait to see some pictures. Jen, enjoy New York. I know you're loving it out there. And everybody else, stay safe. And I will catch you guys all probably next week. Thanks, guys. Mwah.